Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Melvin, and you're watching Magelvin. And on this channel, I'm going to talk a lot about trading, specifically crypto trading. And I know there's about 100 million different channels that do exactly the same, but the difference, and I hope I make the difference, is that I am not here because I have a lot of experience, or I am here to make a lot of money. I'm here to study the movement of markets, especially in the crypto market, get an understanding of them to hopefully be able to help people to, get more insight on what to do and what not to do in trading in general, but also trading in crypto. So I have a couple points that I want to go through. First point is, why would you even start trading? And the thing is, economies aren't stable things. They seem stable, but there are many countries where it's not stable at all. And you want your money to be safe. And definitely in a lot of countries right now, you cannot even get any interest on any banks because that just costs a lot of money. So you just basically lose money by having it. And that's usually not what you want. You want to either keep your money or even make it work. And that's what lots of people say, make your money work. Basically, what I would say is, if you trade and you know how to trade, you know where to put your money, not specifically make it work, but just basically a fund is basically a stock which you can buy, where your money doesn't lose value. So basically, when the whole world has an inflation of about 7%, then this market would definitely give you this 7% back. Or, well, definitely, that's what you expect about it. And that's why trading is very handy. For some people, it's kind of like gambling. Like, they like to do a very short-term trading without a lot of experience, with a lot of margin. Margin is like, basically lending money from your broker and work with that, and whatever percentage, if you have like a 10 times leverage, then you basically every percent will be 10% up or down. And that's basically gambling, in my opinion. So I'm not going to talk a lot about that. I might do it in the future because I have some experience with that, and I'd love to share it, of course. But yeah, trading for me is basically, I'd love to be able to have my money work for me. And be able to, maybe pay back my student debt after I'm done studying. Because right now I study astronomy. By the way, I'm 23 years old. This is my first video, so I might just introduce myself. In the Netherlands, I study in Leiden astronomy, and I'm doing fine. It just takes a little bit of time, and of course it costs a lot of money. I expect to be around 20,000 at the end. And I'm very lucky. Some people that I know have like 50,000 in student debt. So yeah, that's a lot of money. Because of that, you cannot get a loan from a bank. And yeah, you just basically want to be able to get rid of this this loan that you have at the government to be able to, buy a house, for example. So I'm just looking in ways, while I'm still young, to maybe invest some money to be able to, pay most of it back, if not all. So I did this a couple years back already, and I put, I think, about 200 or 300 euros in it, and this is when Bitcoin was going crazy. So I was very lucky there. I got a little bit of, I got quite some profit. I did some stupid things, but I got lucky. I did some stupid things and I didn't get lucky, but I did manage to, not waste a lot of money on those mistakes. And I basically tripled my money. I got like 1,000 euros. I got it out. And I still had 200 euros. And that's now still 330 euros. Dollars, basically. So it's $300 about. And that gave me a little bit of an insight after all that, because I've done a lot of research in technical analysis, pattern recognition, and I've done a lot of basically trading on a training account to just get a feel of it. And what I've learned is that the crypto world is super volatile. And you might think that it's not a good idea to trade on it. Well, if you're a beginner and you don't have a lot of money, it might sound stupid, but it is a good idea to trade on crypto, because you get to learn how it really works in like a very aggressive a very aggressive way. So like if stocks go up or down, it's usually by like 2 or 3% per day. It happens very often that in a day, a crypto market can actually like go up 15%. It's not very weird. Like this is the 4 hour, but I can put it on the day. So yeah, that's every candle is now a day. And yeah, this is the price range. I'll go into this later. But for example, this gain, that's 16% in one day, for example. Or what is that? For example, this one. This is in November. This is a gain of 25%. That happens a lot. And if you look at the wicks, and we'll go into that as well a little bit later in this video, you can also see that this one has gone down 22% in a day. This one. So yeah, there's a lot of volatility in this market, and which means that everything that you do, if you do it wrong, you get punished very hard. And that's something that you really need in this kind of circumstances, because if you don't get punished hard enough, then in the long term you'll be doing wrong things while you thought they were right. And that's with everything, of course. So yeah, the little bit of punishment has really trained me to, well, get a little bit of a feeling. And yeah, I want to share my experiences. Of course, I'm not the guru. I don't know everything. I'm still learning like everyone else. Everyone that says they're a guru in trading, they're not a guru. They're also making a lot of mistakes, but they're just being smart about it because they have also done all these experiences. And I just want to share them. I just want to get better. And in the meantime, I also want to make people who just start out also get a little bit more proficient in this. So yeah, we're already 6 minutes in. So let's get into it. So that's why I am trading. So we're looking at an interface right now with a market on it. We're right now looking at Solana. I'm going to use this market as an example market for the upcoming videos. At a certain point, I will just completely change it because I have my own setup, of course, and I'm actively trading in Solana. And well, this interface is called TradingView. They have a free service which I'm using. I'm not paying anything. They are not paying me. And yeah, maybe in the future I would like to get a subscription. A subscription is like $13 a month, so it's not even that expensive for if you want to make money, and you can then do multi-window, multi-everything, which is very handy. But yeah, right now I'm just using the free version, and there's still a lot of customizability. So I want to get into that. So basically, I hate light mode. So I'm going to change that instantly. This is, by the way, the app. You also have a website. You just go to tradingview.com. You log in with either your Google account or make an account. And if you've done that, you can also get the app, the Windows app or Linux app or Mac app, whatever. And you log in here. And as you can see, I'm already logged in. My username is something I set like 5 years ago. And I go to app settings. And in app settings, I can put it on dark mode, which I really like. So that's the only thing I'm gonna change here, because now I can actually really see the candles very well, and now I can really explain what I want to explain. So yeah, basically I have a whole watch list of all different kinds of markets, and these are only crypto markets, but you can also just do normal markets on TradingView, so it's not just for crypto. And yeah, basically if you want to, for example, look at yeah, I have a lot of them here, but for example, if you want to go to Binance Coin, I just say, or Ethereum, just do Ethereum. You can just, you have you can just type Ethereum, and you will easily find that for short, if you want to see Ethereum against US dollar or US dollar tethered, usually tether is like with the T behind it. You see that the abbreviation for Ethereum is ETH. So I usually know then if I want to have a tether, then I do ETH USD tether. And you can see you have Binance, you have KuCoin, OKX, Bybit. Bybit is what I'm trading on, by the way. But I usually look at Binance. They don't really differ a lot, and Binance has a lot of volume. And because there's more people on there, it gives more, it gives better indications of when something is going hype or not. Because if something is going hype on Binance, then something is going hype on a lot of other crypto markets. Basically, like if Bitcoin goes up a lot, then every crypto goes up a lot, because that's basically the market mode, I would just say. And the market mode is very important. So you always have to keep that in mind. So yeah, let's go to this one. This is Binance. Already, as you can see, I've drawn a lot of things, which I am also going to remove right now. And yeah, well, you basically have the market here. And yeah, that's how you search for them. If you want to put them on your watch list, you just press the plus, and then you type, well, the thing that you just have searched. I believe if you also, oh no, it's not over here. Anyways, what is this? I have no clue. It's just dividing. It's just like mathematics or something. Anyways, you can add symbol. You can, well, I've already searched this up, so you can just plus. You can also give a flag. If you only have the free option, you only have one color. That's just red. Or I think you can choose a color and then not change it afterwards. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, you can just click it here and then it will get in this list. But I already did it. It's over here. So this is basically the same market, but it's on Bybit. Yeah. And yeah, as you can see, it didn't really change a lot. But let's go back to Solana, because I'm going to use that a lot as an interesting market to, yeah, do our technical analysis on. You have all these candles, these things you call candles, and yeah, these candles are representative of what happened in this time frame. So we're now looking at a time frame of a day. You can change this to even, I believe, for free users up to 1 minute. You cannot go lower than that, as you can see, and I will get a lot of ads as well, so keep that in mind. But 1 minute is the shortest amount of time. I'm never using this because this is really for minute traders, of course, but yeah, I don't really like it. I usually go to 4 hours because that's just a little bit smaller than a day, so it gives a little bit of detail on the day. But for now, I'll go to day, because yeah, we're mostly going to talk about this part, because this is about 1.5 months to here, I believe, something. But yeah, candles. So this is the price right now, and you can see it's on the last candle. But a candle basically has two things. It has a body and it has wicks. And a body is basically the starting or the opening price of that day. In this case, it's a day. So for this time frame, it's the opening price and the closing price. And if the closing price is higher than the opening price, then you have a positive candle, so a green candle. And if the closing price is lower than the opening price, then you have a red candle. And then the wicks are basically the maximum values that it had in this time frame. So you can basically close on the same time. So what you have over here is basically in the daytime we barely even moved on the graph, but the price did fluctuate up to $95 and all the way down to $87. So it's still a lot of movement in a day, but it didn't really change at the end. And well, these types of things are already, yeah, indicators on themselves. I mean, if you see a candle which doesn't have a wick on the lower bottom, that means that the lowest price is the opening price. Or if a red one doesn't have a bottom wick, that means that the closing price is the lowest price that it has. So it's basically what happened over here. And that can, yeah, give an indication of how strong momentum is. So for example, over here, there's no wick going lower, but it's definitely going up. It even went up here, so there is definitely a wick on the top, but it's not very big. So that means that basically almost pretty steadily over the day, the price went up. And the same here, the wick isn't big, and you can see that, yeah, at some moments the wicks are getting bigger at the bottom, which means there's a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of resistance, but still went up nonetheless, because you can see that. And then here you can see that after when it went very high up, then went down, and then when the new day started, it went down a lot, and then it also corrected, of course, because this is a lot of movement. So yeah, that's basically how you can look at candles. So this one barely has a wick on the top, so that means that it is very bearish, and that's a term to say that a lot of people want to sell or have sold. So this is a bearish candle, this is a bullish candle. Bullish is for positive trends. They come from the terms of bulls and bears. I don't know why. but just remember that, I guess. And when something like this happens, this means that the price is pretty, it's pretty stable, especially if the wicks are also small. But if the wicks aren't small, for example here, then there's just a lot of uncertainty, and you can use that especially in your advantage for example, reversals. So, or well, change in movement. So, for example, here, when it went down, it basically kind of stagnated. So the candles aren't that big, but then you have one that is very stable, and then afterwards went up, and this happens quite often. What also happened here is, as you can see, it still went down, but it went up as well. This is a weird one. And here as well, as you can see, there's a couple of them that have small bodies but have large wicks, and that usually indicates a little bit of a trend change. But yeah, all these indications on their own don't really say a lot. It's just that all of them together would give a strong indication of something. So this is a indication or an indication of maybe a trend. So for example here, you cannot say a lot about this one because, well, as you can see, the day just started. It's now 1:30 a.m. Don't judge me. So this one doesn't really count yet. But this one, for example, here it went down a lot. Then you can see that the wick is the wicks are extremely big and the body is very small. Usually it denotes a change of direction. And it did. So it went down in a couple of days and then went pretty low actually, and then it went up very quickly again, and now you can see there's a change in trend, and we hope to see it going up, of course, because we love making money. So yeah, that's basically about candles. The things that you need to watch out for though is that you don't think in making money all the time. So people are thinking like, oh, look at this trend. It went all the way from like 2023 was like $7 or something, or maybe if you go to like September or something, it was $17, and basically from here up, basically, so it's October up until like the end of December, it only went up, almost only went up, and it basically did it times, well, what is it, times 6 or something? So it's 20, times 6, a 6 times a 600% gain, or a 500% gain, because 100% gain is already times 2, so yeah, you always have to subtract 100%. But yeah, so it's a 500% gain, which is a lot of money. If you're talking like, if you put like 1,000 here, then you basically made 5,000 euros extra. So that's super nice. And then people are like, oh, but there's a lot of momentum, there's a lot of hype, so I gotta get in somewhere, and you're already very high up. And then people just want to buy in, like, I don't want to miss the rest. There's usually not going to be a lot of rest. The only reason why I got into here is that I do a more in-depth analysis of the coin itself. So I just not only look at the graph, but I also take a little bit of news into perspectives. For example, what does Solana do in the background? What are their biggest news updates? And of course, I've already traded in 2022 in it. As you can see, it was very high up then, or 2021. I don't know which one it was. I think I got a little bit over here. I think it was somewhere over here that I grabbed a couple percent. But yeah, I know that Solana is a good coin. Or well, I do not know. I believe that Solana is a very good coin that has a lot of potential, and it went down a lot. Sorry. I know that Solana has a lot of potential, and I see that it has gone down a lot, and now after a year I can see that there's a lot of potential again. So there's a lot of interest in it. And with other indicators, and I will go there later, it gave me a very strong sign that it might go up again. Probably to like this area, like 136, or maybe even higher, maybe like 260 to get to its all-time high. And that's what I'm hoping for, of course. I don't see it go down very far. Maybe it will go down, maybe like here, like to the $50 range. But I'm in there for the long term, and I'm just doing an analysis to, well, learn more about the market and see if I can predict it right or not. So, yeah, the main reason people usually think in like, oh, I see this coin, for example, I've heard a friend of mine, ICP, Internet Computer, I don't know, let's go to ICP. Look at this. This is like a very new coin. It's made in June 2022. It was a very high up here, and then it went down extremely far, as you can see, and then it goes up again. And so it's hypey right now. So it's very hyped actually, and in a very short term, it's like only in a month it already went from 5 to 12 or 5 to 15, so it's a time 3. So people are very interested in this, and it's actually very high up in the ranking. It has a lot of volume, so it might have potential, but you don't need to think like, oh, it's now at 11 and it can go all the way up to 3 or 4,000. I'm gonna go in right now. Because you can also just have that it will just die off again and go back to 4. Because you cannot predict whether it goes up or down. That's the main thing about markets. You can never predict whether it goes up or down. You can, a tiny bit of it, you can predict whether volatility occurs. And volatility is basically how much does the market move. So volatility here is very high. As you can see, the candles are very big, and usually it's only one way. So if you would do this on the week, you would see that, well, this one big candle, and this is also very high volatility. As you can see, it's a very big dip. And yeah, periods of low volatility are over here. So basically it's been, for half a year, it's been kind of stagnant. It's kind of stable. And if it is stable for a long time, then usually after that period it will be less stable, and that's also how it goes. If something is very unstable, it has a sort of an exponential decay of this volatility. So what you can see is a very high volatility in a week, and then there's smaller things, but very shortly after, about a couple months after that, there's a lot of volatility again. And this type of volatility kind of like decays all the way up to here. And I just say that because, of course, it's also, you see a high volatility over here again. But mainly I say this because this is so big that it has a lot of time to get rid of this volatility. And as you can see, it's already been stagnant here, and these candles are very small. And then there was, like, if there's not enough volume, there's not enough volatility, and then you can see it go up a lot. Because if there's not a lot of volume and then someone just buys like $100,000 worth of Solana, then you can see the market move way more than when there's a lot of volatility and more volume. Because, well, if there's already like 100 million in volume in 24 hours, then that 100k is not very visible. But if there's only like 10 million in volume, then 100k is like 10 times more visible, of course. So yeah, and that way you can keep track of, well, if there's low volume, there's usually low volatility, and then it is very prone for high changes if something occurs. And yeah, you have to keep track of it. And there's only the things that I can already explain with just looking at the candles and looking at the history of it. But in the next video, because this one is getting quite long already, I'm going to talk a little bit about making some indicators for yourself, using one of the main indicators that have always been standard to TradingView and I think is very handy. So I've been talking about volume, so that's one of the indicators that I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the other drawing tools. So you can make some nice horizontal lines, but you can also do some cooler stuff, which might or might not be useful to you. But anyways, I'm going to set this back to 4 hours because that's my favorite time frame. And I hope you enjoyed. This was my first episode. Again, I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm here to explore together with you how the market works. I just already have a 5-year head start in trying to figure it out. If you also have a lot of experience, let me know. I'm certainly open for suggestion for maybe a new environment that doesn't cost money, that has the same drawing capabilities. Maybe you have a very strong opinion about something, then I might talk about it as well. And just know that I'm gonna make a couple episodes in a row. So maybe if you have a question in the first episode, I might only get to it in like the 4th or the 5th episode. So just so you know. Yeah, and that was kind of it. You now know what TradingView is. You know how to find your stocks and markets. You know how the candles work, and you know a little bit what to watch out for. And of course, I'll be constantly reminding you of the things you have to watch out for, because I'm constantly going to talk about my experiences and what I have been watching out for since I made some mistakes. So yeah, like if you like this video, comment if you have anything to say, and subscribe if you want to see the rest. I'm very curious if I'm gonna keep this up. If there's a lot of people watching, of course I will keep this up, and because I like doing this. And yeah, I'd say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night.